We all hear about the crime and the violence and the bad kids in Allentown. Guess what? It's not true. We're going to meet a group that will put you to shame if that's what you believe. Hi, I'm Jose Tony Ortiz, and this is Nuestro Valle. We are so delighted to have tonight a group called, well, maybe the name will change soon, but as of now is the Youth Party of the Lehigh Valley, United Youth Party. And we have Mr. Mike Frassetto, who is a teacher and organizer, and Danay Rosa, who is a board member and co-founder of the group, and Jorge Grullon, who is the event coordinator for the group. I'm really, really excited about having this show because we are having students of middle school. Is that what the grades are?
Yeah, middle school through high school. Through
high school. That decided to, instead of joining a gang, what supposedly students do, right? Of course not.
No. One of the members came to me when they were in 8th grade and just said, why isn't there a group in Allentown that tries to make the city better for the youth? So our parents would allow us to go outside so we could have more positive and fun things to do, so we could stay out of trouble. And once the students came to me on my first year teaching, during my first year, I had to use their energy, and here we are 4 years later, and the group has just progressed so much in the last 4 years. Yeah.
So it was not something that you suggested?
No.
It was something that came out of the students?
Exactly, and that's the whole thing about this group. It's not my ideas. It's all the ideas are created, brainstormed, and then executed by the students and the group members. Yeah.
Wow, that's so all the things that we read in the paper or we see in the news. And if I was just coming to live in the Lehigh Valley, I will say, I don't think this is a good environment. So you have an answer to that.
Yeah, definitely. That's what this group is about, trying to get them all involved in more positive things. We had teen nights on Friday nights to keep kids off the streets. Friday nights usually might be a mischievous night. We had a basketball tournament. We did community service in April, and we had about 4 events last year, and we're going to try to continue those and make those all annual events. And all the group members, we have 13 group members. They were the ones who created everything. They had to contact the sponsors, market it, advertise it, do the accounting. They're involved in everything.
It sounds like it's not just a group that you go in and do things and go home. You learn. Danay, you're a co-founder.
Yeah.
And you're also a board member.
Yeah.
Who gets the credit?
We all do things as a whole. So we're all in this together. It's not like one person does one thing and another person does the other. It's like we all put in the same amount of effort to make what we want happen. So it's not like one person gets the credit for everything.
So take me to the beginning. You were just chatting, sitting. How did the idea come out?
The idea, it was actually another co-founder, which is Asman. He's obviously not here today. But he walked up to Frassetto. We were in 8th grade after class was over. And he, like Frassetto said, he proposed the idea. And there were other students involved after that. There were 13 of us in the beginning. And then at the end, it was a year of studying other revolutions all around the country, over the Latin American countries, and we learned what was needed to be successful in a movement. And after that year was over, there was only 7 of us left. Yeah, so then...
It's the usual attrition because maybe it was not what they expected, I guess. So it was you were talking about class, what is needed, what exactly prompted you to do something positive? Just the desire to be out?
Before I moved here in Allentown, I lived in Brooklyn. And yeah.
Really tough, yes.
Yeah, so you already know. But bad exists everywhere. And although there were a lot of, I've seen a lot of things that happened where I was born and where I grew up. So moving here, I still witnessed a little bit of that. So growing up in an environment like that, and knowing that Asman came up with the idea, like, it made me want to be involved in something so positive. Yeah.
And Jorge, what's your involvement? You're the events coordinator. That's a really, really fancy name, but I think just judging by all the activities you already have, you do have events. So tell me about your involvement in the youth party.
Well, it's necessarily just not our involvement, it's more as a whole. Like Danay said before, we all pitch in our own little ideas to make and create our events. And my job was pretty much I would make the schedules for each event, for who has these spots at these times during either the dance floor, or if it's in the food section selling food, or in the front greeting different the guests, or different like such as the mayor during the green room we had a lot of different, how do I say it, a lot of different spots or positions for people.
So you actually are learning a skill. I mean, it looks like this is a play that is actually teaching you, preparing you for
what comes in the future.
Yeah, in the future. We are not just looking at going to high school, we are looking at way ahead. Well, there are a couple of questions that I really want to pose, very important ones, but we have to break a little bit. And friends, don't go away. We will come back after these brief messages. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. We're chatting with Mike Frassetto, Danay, Rosa, and Jorge Grullon. We're talking about the United Youth Party in Allentown, Pennsylvania, or of the Lehigh Valley. I think that's what it is.
Yep.
Okay. There are so many questions. Usually is the teacher who comes to a group of students and says, we can do this, and that's great. In this case, students came to you. Tell me a little bit about what prompted you to say, that's a good idea. Let's do it. Do you know the students already?
Yeah, I did know them because I was teaching them in middle school in 8th grade. But and they were all good kids. That was an incredible class that came through my class. It was a good idea. When they came to me and approached me and said, we want to do something positive in the city. We lived here, we live here for many years, and we see all the negativity that happens. And they said, we want to change that, and we want to do positive things. It was a great idea. I couldn't not use that energy. So I knew they had a lot of positive energy. So I was just trying to guide them in the way to make the most positive changes possible. Couldn't let it go.
What class were you teaching?
Social studies. I teach 7th and 8th grade at the Roberto Clemente Charter School. World history in 7th grade, and then early American history in 8th grade. Yeah.
And I know there are so many challenges. Can you tell us a little bit about the challenges?
Yeah, well, one of the challenges of the group was the dynamics of the group. We had a first year. The first year of the group was to learn about Latin American history and revolutions, and it was very important to see who wanted to put in the work to really make a difference, because in order for you to make a difference, you have to understand how to make a difference. And we learned that through getting taught Latin American history, which was my concentration at Kutztown. I had a great professor. He taught me it. It was Professor Gambone, and then I passed it on to these kids, and they got connected with it too. We started off with 16 group members and in the beginning, and at the end of the year, only 7 lasted. So I knew that those 7 were the ones who really, really wanted to make a difference in their community, and then that's when we started the group.
How about the school? Because I assume this is not during the school time.
No, it's not. We meet after school. Thursdays is our traditional meeting day. We meet after school from 3 to 4, sometimes 5. Sometimes we even stay there if we have an event. In an upcoming week, we stay there until 9 o'clock sometimes if we have to. I do feed them. I don't let them starve the whole time.
That comes a little expensive at that age.
It does, but I'm glad they like to eat pizza. But yeah, so and during the summer too, we put a lot of time during the summer as well, because we know we can't go 2.5 months without doing anything. We have to constantly. A movement is continuous. If we stop, then we lost the momentum. So we got to keep going.
Usually. When a group starts a movement like this, there are so many forces that come against. Parents that will say, well, I don't like this, or I don't want my daughter to be involved in this kind of activities, or that sounds too good to be true. Those are the usual challenges. But what's your reward as a board member, for instance, Danay?
My reward would be knowing that at my age, I was capable of doing something so big and helping improve the city where I live in. And it's not only that, like, although this group is made to improve where we live, like, I also learned skills that will also help me in my future. So it's not only preparing me for the now, it's preparing me for when I go to college.
Oh, that's great. And beyond college, I guess. And Jorge, what you take out of this?
I take out a lot of things, out of all, it's fun overall. I find it doing positive things. Most of all, when you do community service, like we did down at Bucky Boyle, and seeing, I guess, the smile on the residents that were there when we gave the flower boxes, and some of the kids when we were planting the flowers at Bucky Boyle, it really, I guess, warms your heart in a way.
Yeah.
Well, that's very important. Now, I was told that all these boxes, you get the donations from, we will say it, Home Depot.
Oh, yes.
Flowers and all that.
Yes.
Do you know how to make these boxes? Plant all that, or you have to do a little research?
Well, thanks to Home Depot, they pre-drilled the holes on the boxes, and it pretty much helped us out with figuring it out, which goes where, how many screws you do need on it. So.
Well, actually, that's really important. Sometimes you see all these programs on TV, and I want to do that. You go to Home Depot or any other store and you buy the stuff, and now what?
Yeah.
We also had a big, tremendous help from our art teacher, Miss Carol.
Well, that was a question more for the teacher. How are the other teachers taking this?
Well, there are some that are involved. There are some that aren't. But that's life. We would love as many people to be involved as possible. But they have families. They have other things they're involved in too. So not everybody could be involved, and we know that. But there has been so many people in the school involved, so many community leaders that try to help us along the way, that without them it wouldn't be possible. One is a science teacher, Miss Tasker. She always helps out. A new math teacher, Miss Taglioli, art teacher, has been there since the beginning 4 years ago, Miss Carol. Without them, without the principal, Mr. Romero, and the board, it would be impossible without all their help.
And tell me, all the activities that you have, you mentioned the green room. Tell me a little more about that.
The Green Room was our first event just so we could be known pretty much in the city of Allentown with community leaders like Julio Guridi and Mayor Pulowski. So it was just a kickstart, I guess, the whole group, and it progressed on.
No, and it was also like the Diversity Park, which is the event. We had the event to promote our idea of a design of the park that we wanted to have in Allentown.
That's whose idea is? I just want to know who gets the credit.
We all do.
You all do, okay.
We all do.
We will come back and talk about this project that I think is very important, and it, just by looking at it, is beautiful. So, friends, don't go away because we have more to talk about, and we'll come back after these brief messages. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us, and we are chatting with important people, important youth, and well, even the teacher looks very young to me. Mike Frassetto, who is a teacher and organizer, Danay Rosa, who is a board member and co-founder, and Jorge Grullon, who is the event coordinator of the United Youth Party of the Lehigh Valley. And well, this project, it looks to me like came from some college like Lehigh University, and they say, okay, we're presenting this. So you just get together, you want a place of your own, designed by you, right? So who is involved in the designing of this park?
We all pitched in what we thought was needed or in Allentown, like for the youth. Like we just wanted a safe place for the youth to have fun in. So we created the Diversity Park, which was the idea. We had an outside theater, we had basketball courts, we had a skateboard park.
A skate park.
A skate park. We also had like a local outside park, you know, for people to like walk around and stuff.
So I'm curious, how did the powers to be, all these politicians, reacted to this presentation?
Well, they all congratulated us and said it was a wonderful, wonderful idea, wonderful project. It looks great, but saying something and doing something are two different things. You know, they do have their handfuls with what they're doing in the city of Allentown. I really do think they're doing what's necessary to turn Allentown around, and I think they're doing an excellent job. So to add on a park that wasn't in their original plans was, you know, it was a little ambitious on our part, but it was something that the youth wanted. We put out over 500 surveys to kids in Allentown saying what you want in the park, and the number one thing was the stuff that we put in the park: a basketball court, skate park, outdoor theater. So we put all those things in the park. We didn't really hear back from them afterwards. They were at the event, took some pictures. It was all nice. But you know, that stuff takes a long time. It just doesn't happen overnight. So if we keep at it and the group keeps going, maybe it'll happen in 5-10 years. Who knows?
And do you have a site in mind, a specific place in Allentown? Yes, you do. I can see.
Yeah, we do. It was the original site that we thought it would go great in was the waterfront. Because they are having early plans of a river walk in Allentown, we were hoping that this park, which was a little over 2 acres, 2.5 acres, it would be nice for that park to be incorporated into those plans.
Well, of course, I guess many times if it is not their idea, but the events coordinator, What did it take for you to organize this presentation and having all these politicians to come in?
Well, it was very difficult for the group because it was our first event at the time, so it was very stressful. We were kind of lost in the plans, to say the truth, because we did not know exactly what to do, but later on we did catch on to it, and overall the event was very successful.
Persistence. You gotta get people's contact numbers and keep calling them. We actually had call centers before all our events where we just have for 2 hours straight, maybe 10 people, 20 people using their cell phones, calling and contacting, emailing people. That's what it takes. You know?
Although it was not your idea, you didn't come to the group and say, we can do this. No. I see you are supporting and, in a way, leading.
Yeah, I would like to say I'm like a guide on the side. A guide on the side. I let them go with their ideas. I let them brainstorm. Actually, sometimes I'm an equal member of the group, so sometimes I'll come up with ideas, and they'll just say, Mr. Frassetto, that idea is horrible. So I get voted down a lot.
Well, friends, if you need more information, I'll suggest you call the phone number, you actually come and visit them, or visit the web page. That's always a lot of information, a lot of pictures that you have more than we showed. And if anyone wants to donate, do you take donations, and what kind of donations?
Yeah, we do take donations, and so far the city of Allentown and the people have been so generous to us when they see our mission and what we do or try to do. But we do take donations on UnitedYouthParty.org. There's a donate button on the left-hand side. You could donate by credit card through there or send in a check to the address that was up.
Do you take volunteers? I know this is mostly a student activity, but do you take volunteers?
All the time, all the time. We need volunteers, adult volunteers. On all our events, we had adult chaperones, making sure that everything runs smoothly. There's no negativity happening at any of the events. You know, usually we have about 20 to 25 adults that volunteer at every event.
Wonderful. I wish you all the success, and hopefully this company is going to be more involved, and I think it's going that way, but wish you all the success. Thank you for being with us, and unfortunately time is up. But friends, remember that we will see you next time in Nuestro Valle. Thank you for being with us.